Hi everyone, so today is VEDA Day 8, which means that it is April 8th. Um, and today I'm going to do the 10 things you didn't know about me tag. So I've seen a few people do this, and yeah, I thought it'd be kind of interesting. It was a little hard to think about things to tell you guys about and what you might not know because I tell you guys a lot. But I think I came up with 10 things. Okay, so my number one is that, sorry, I have a list here. I'm allergic to all fruit. Not bad like my son or anything. Well, kind of. I'm allergic to all fruit, and I eat them anyway. They just make my mouth itch or give me a stomach ache or something. Nothing worse than that, except honeydew and cantaloupe. I used to be pretty allergic to watermelon as well, but I can eat that now, even though I am allergic to it. But honeydew and cantaloupe, they almost give me reactions like my son. It just makes me cough and my throat swollen, and it's not fun. And when I was younger, my fruit allergy was worse, especially with strawberries. I was very allergic to strawberries. I don't know what my reaction was when I was a baby, but my mom knew I was allergic. And then one time we were visiting Oregon, which is where I live now, also where a lot of my family lived at the time. And we were leaving the store, and my mom had bought strawberries, and I had never tried a strawberry in my life, or that I could remember, because I had always known that I was just very allergic to them. And so I asked my mom, I said, well, can I try a little bit and see what happens? And she says, oh, yeah, you can take a small bite. So I took a very, very small bite of a strawberry, like tiniest little sliver. And I remember walking out of the store doing that, and then the next thing I remember is waking up in an ambulance with people overhead, and then going in and out and waking up again in the hospital with them putting an IV in. And anyway, I was, I think, 4 years old, I think. And I was hospitalized for a couple weeks because I had ended up getting a collapsed lung from a small bite of a strawberry, which now I eat strawberries. I am allergic to them, but nothing serious like it was when I was little. So, yeah, I do eat strawberries now. My kids, they eat them just fine as well, so that's interesting. Number two is that we are planning on getting another fur baby. We have a Yorkie right now. His name is Bear. He's almost 2 years old. He'll be 2 years old on the 28th. And we decided after we have a baby, and I want to wait until we move out into a bigger house, which should still be this year, then we're going to get a girl Yorkie as well. My dog is full-bred, papered, and everything, and we're going to buy another full-bred, papered Yorkie, and we are going to breed them together. Not too much, obviously, maybe once every year or two, but I do want to have little Yorkie puppies. And full-bred you can actually get a lot of money for Yorkies because they're show dogs. So anyway, yeah, we're planning on getting a girl dog, and I'm really excited because I'm I'm going to be one of those terrible owners that dresses up the dog in little dresses and puts bows in her hair and all of that. I'm really excited about that. But I used to think, before I had a small dog, I grew up with large dogs, labs actually, and I used to think not too great about owners that would put clothing on their animals. And then I got a small dog, and I realized why, because they're small and they need it, especially during the winter months. They actually need, it for warmth. And my dog will go outside if it's raining, and he'll just be shivering the whole time. So he needs a coat. And my dad, made fun of him at first, and I said, well, look at him. Even with this, he's shivering. He's cold. He needs it. I think just the people who have larger dogs and not smaller dogs don't realize that we don't do it just to dress them up. We do it because they need it. And why not get something cute if they need it? So, anyway, number 3 is that I have young brother and sister-in-laws, which is actually kind of interesting. I'll tell you about. But we had both of our children. And not too long after my daughter was born, my mother-in-law decided, or my mother and father-in-law decided to adopt more children. They wanted to adopt one more because they had a youngster that they've had since he was a baby. They were being his foster parents, and they fell in love with him, and he was family, so they decided to adopt him. And then they didn't want him to be the only child, so they wanted him to have younger siblings as well. And they decided to adopt another one, and they fell in love with this family of 3 children. So they ended up adopting 3. So they have 4 young children. The youngest they have is 6, and that's 1 year older than my son. And the oldest is 9, I think. Maybe 10, but I think he's 9. So they've got 4 kids between the ages of 6 and 9. And then they've got my husband, who's the oldest, my sister-in-law, who's the same age as me, and then my brother-in-law, who's a couple of years younger than me. So they have 7 children. But anyway, so I have a brother-in-law who is 6 years old, who I also actually babysit while he's not in kindergarten. And then my father, he has a girlfriend who just recently moved in with him, and she also adopted a family member who is the same age as the 6-year-old that's my brother-in-law. In fact, they were born on the same day. So they are exactly the same age. So if my dad marries this woman, I'm going to have a stepbrother and a brother-in-law the exact same age. And it's a little weird to have family that's 1 year older than my son. But it's actually more common than I had thought, because I've come across people that have the same sort of situations. So anyway, number 4. All that I ever wanted to do when I was a little girl, when I grew up, was to be a mom, to be a stay-at-home mom at that. I've always felt like it was kind of a calling for me. That's just, I always wanted to have children, and I always wanted to be a mom. And when I would think about what I want to do when I grow up, I'd have every once in a while like the teacher fantasy that all kids have. But there was always the mom thing. Like I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. I just didn't really want anything else. And that's all I would really talk about. And I watched my brother and sister a lot when my parents were working. I took a lot of that responsibility. I also babysat a lot when I was younger. So it was just kind of something that I always wanted. And obviously I was working a little bit when my son was first born, and then I ended up just being a stay-at-home mom. And then I don't think I had another job besides babysitting other people's children in my home and Avon until 2 years ago, when I started working at Budget Blinds. And then I recently, as you know, lost that job. So, which I am convinced is because I'm pregnant. But anyway, that was a big fiasco. So I do kind of plan on trying to find another part-time job after. But other than that, I've really just been a stay-at-home mom, just like I kind of always wanted. Number 5, it's kind of weird, but I don't like to get or give hugs or kisses, even on the cheek, to anybody but my children and my husband. Very weird, but I don't like being hugged. I feel trapped. And people, they'll say, my dad always says, oh, you're my daughter. I want it. I'm like, no, I just, I'll sit there like cringe. I don't know. It's weird, but whatever. I don't need it from anybody other than my children and my husband. I don't need to give it to anybody besides my children and my husband. And I do a lot to all of them. So anyway, number 6, I don't like drinking alcohol. I never have. Now, I can drink some, like I really do like wine. I'll drink wine when I'm not pregnant or trying to become pregnant. I'll drink wine, but I don't ever like getting drunk. I don't like the way it feels. I don't like being out of control. I like to be in control at all times. Bear. Sorry, my dog is moving my camera around. He's itching. Anyway, yeah, I just don't like to drink, and that's not really a bad thing. My husband drinks. I will drink wine sometimes. All my friends drink. It's just not really my thing. Anyway, number 7, I have moved a lot. I have moved a lot in my life. I was born in Oregon, and I moved around a couple times in the state. And then we moved to Utah. Yeah, we moved to Utah when I was young. And then we moved to California, Redondo Beach, which is where I went to kindergarten. And then we thought we were moving back to Oregon, but we ended up moving to Maryland. I lived in Annapolis, Maryland. Annapolis or Baltimore? I think it was Annapolis. For 3 years. I went to 1st through 3rd grade there. And then we moved back to Oregon, where I lived in one place and went to the school there. And then we moved again in Oregon, where I've been now, where I live now, and I've been in this town since then. So since I was somewhere in 5th grade, I've lived here where I live now. Not in this house, obviously, because now I'm married with my own kids in my own house. Anyway, so, but yeah, this town. And my husband has lived in this town all his life. I think his mother has as well. Maybe she's moved a couple times, but I think she was even born here too. And his dad was actually from Texas. But anyway, yeah, I've moved a lot. And these different states I'm telling you about, also there were different towns in each of these states and everything. So I was used to moving a lot when I was a kid. Another weird one is that I like to smell like everything. Mommy. Thank you.
It got water on it.
Like a new book or something. If I get a new book, I like to smell the pages. I like to smell, I don't know, it's weird. It's not like gross things. I'm not going to smell something I think is going to smell bad. But like new things and different foods or candies or, I don't know, just my husband's pointed out many times that I smell a lot of stuff. And that now my daughter does too. Number 9 is weird. Kind of silly and embarrassing, but I just found out within the last year that Las Vegas is in Nevada, not in California like I have always thought. I always thought Las Vegas was in California. And my husband has told me a few times that no, it is in Nevada, and at first I didn't believe him. And then I was like, well, I even thought Reno was in California, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. And I found out Reno was in Nevada before I found out Las Vegas was in Nevada. And so when he told me Las Vegas, I just didn't believe him. I was like, no, why would they put both of those in Nevada? I knew it was in California, but I was wrong, obviously. And you probably all know that and think that it's ridiculous that I thought it was in California. Anyway, I've even been there. Number 10 is that I have a hard time throwing anything away. I'm not a hoarder, but there are some things that I kind of hoard. Purses. I have broken purses, and I think, oh, I'll just sew it, and I never get around to sewing it. But I have a ton of purses, a ton of shoes, mismatched shoes that I don't even have the other one to. I need to throw away. A lot of childhood mementos, a lot of my kids' things. I've been getting better at throwing things away, especially during this pregnancy while I'm trying to declutter and just get the whole house and everything just in order, ready for this baby. I've thrown a lot away that I had a hard time throwing away over the years. So I'm getting better at it, especially with my husband, who thinks I should throw away like all of my shoes and all of my purses, and there's no need for me to have more than 2 pairs of shoes. There's no need for me to have more than 1 purse. But I have boxes full. So anyway, yeah, so those are my 10 things you probably didn't know about me, and they're probably kind of weird and different and all that. So anyway, if you have any questions or you want me to explain anything, you can just post it below and I will reply. All right, you guys have a great day. Bye.